back to Everything iOS, guys, and today I'm going to be talking about 10 or more features, possibly 10 to 15 features of iOS 12 and the uses you can get out of them. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these features. Have Apple done a good job with this iOS 12? So far, there's been no reports of any major bugs or any major issues. So yeah, guys, let's dive right in. So also in iOS 12 we have the improved lock screen. It now collapses multiple notifications within each other. So if you've got multiple messages from iMessage or from Facebook Messenger or any other app, it will group them instead of having everything stacked underneath each other and having this big long list of notifications. In iOS 12, guys, we have the new feature of screen time, which I will demonstrate. I will put something up on the screen, or maybe I'll record my phone directly from my iPad so you guys can see exactly what I mean. But with screen time, you can limit the amount of time spent on apps. So this is a great one for children. You can set a 5-minute limit, and after this 5 minute is up, it will require your passcode or your Apple ID, I believe it's your passcode, in order to allow that app to continue running. So it's great for limiting the time your kids, or maybe even yourself, if you find yourself using your phone too much, your adults, on spending a particular amount of time within a certain app. It also measures how long you've spent in individual apps, how often you pick up your phone, your battery life, when it's been on charge, what app is using the most, the amount of time is spent in the background, how much data has been used as well, but it's not exactly in the screen time section, but you can see how much each app has used for data. Also, it will be shared over iCloud, so you can see your family's usage, which is kind of good. I don't really see the main benefit of this, but it's nice to share information. It will tell you how many notifications you've had through the day, the average amount of times you pick up your iPhone throughout the day or per hour. And yeah, guys, that's basically screen time. Also, there is do not disturb mode, which is automatic now, so you can set it to be on for an hour, or when you leave your location, or even when you arrive at a location, which is nice and neat, because sometimes I'd put do not disturb mode on and then end up forgetting to turn it off, and then my phone is on do not disturb and people trying to message me and I've missed multiple calls and notifications. Next up, we have the improvements to Apple's AR. They have released ARKit 2, which is a substantial version compared to the others. It can now be used to measure 3D objects. They used a suitcase in the WWDC event 2018. There is now also multiplayer, and there are big brand names like Lego, which allows you to use your camera on your built Lego scene, so like a little house or a cafe or a fire station, and then you can have characters walking around this scene, which is making it fully interactive, giving you missions and things like that. Multiplayer is wicked for AR. People have been playing like Jenga but with a ball, and they've been using a table with blocks all stacked, and you gotta like pull back a slingshot and fire balls at it, which looks really fun, guys. There are multiple new applications. I advise you to go and check out the App Store for these apps, so you can check them out for yourself, see which ones you like, download them, give them a go, and that is basically ARKit 2. So let's move on to performance improvements of iOS 12. So there's a 70% increase in speed of swiping up with the camera. There's a 50% increase in speed for the keyboard displaying, and there's a 2 times performance on app launch under heavy workload. Now this improvement is a big improvement to the lower end or the older iPhones. So from the 5S to the 6 to the 6S, this increase in performance really gives these phones some substantial speed increasements. They've done a great job keeping the iOS 12 into the iPhone 5S, so people with that 5S now can see speed improvements. I haven't got an iPhone 6 myself, but it's been reported that for speed improvements, the iOS 12 has substantially improved the performance of the 6 and the 6S. There's also a lot of improvements to the Photos app. Within Photos app now you can do extensive searches for photographs, so you can search in like a pet and it will bring you pets, dog, horse, rabbit, or whatever pet you have, and it will bring this back. There's also places, events, and there's a brand new share feature. So if you and your partner have been out to a birthday event, or maybe your child's birthday, she has taken photos, you have taken photos, and you can share these with each other, so you can complete each other's albums, which is really, really handy. It would automatically detect this event and the event on your partner's phone, and will never send duplicate photos back and forth. Safari has a new little privacy feature, so when you're browsing the webs and you click on them share buttons, or you write a comment, or you interact with a widget, normally you would be tracked at this point and then adverts would follow you from website to website. But with the Safari improvements now, it stops all this tracking, which is great, guys, because you don't have all these pop-ups coming up on the side of the web page which tend to be related to you by the data they have collected from what you have done on their website. When you leave that website now, all the information stays there and doesn't follow you on, so you haven't got this extensive tracking of you went from this website to the next and each advertisement has followed you around. So that's Safari improvements. So Apple has now also, with iOS 12, added some new Animoji faces. I will show you these in a bit, guys, maybe just by the side of me, or maybe I'll flip to a full screen, excuse me, so you guys can see these clearly. And also there's now Memoji, which is a little character you can create it yourself, and there's facial tracking while you're in a message, and you can send out messages with yourself being an Animoji, or a Memoji I should say. On to Siri, guys. Siri has had a couple of improvements. She can now do a couple more things like more sports and more scores, and giving more live feedback. Also, there is something called in the App Store that Apple have released, it's called Shortcuts, which is an app where you can make your own shortcuts app and make a command for Siri, and when you say this command to Siri, she will do the following procedures. Also, within settings, you can use in Siri and suggestions, you can set up shortcuts in there, so you could say something like, show me my photos from the last event, and you can even narrow that down just saying, show me last event, and then Siri will do that process. Instead you're saying a long sentence, you can shorten it down. Or for your HomeKit even, you can have little commands to do, turn on this light or set up this scene. So Siri has a lot of improvements when it comes to shortcuts. She can even do things like calculations, so you can just say a quick command and she will do a calculation for you. So for example, for adding VAT onto something, you can just say, Siri, add the VAT on to £20, and then she will work out the calculations, add the VAT on of 20 on top of the £20. Instead of saying, hey Siri, and then you say in the math calculation, it will just automatically know this calculation is related to this, and away you go. Moving on to CarPlay now. For you guys that use CarPlay in your vehicles, you can now have third-party applications running on CarPlay. So if you didn't like Apple Maps, you can now download Google Maps, and it will be directly built into your CarPlay system. Other third-party apps, I can't name you them because I don't really use CarPlay myself, but yeah, there's a lot of third-party applications now which are compatible with CarPlay. So let's now talk about one or two of Apple's stock apps, which is a little thing, because the first one, we have a redesigned stock apps, which is a lot more informative. The news feed which this stock app gives you now is from Apple News. Nice and easier to click on a news article and just get straight back to the stocks, where before you would click it, open up Safari, and then you've left the stocks app and you've got to bounce back into the stocks app. But as it stands now with this new redesign, if you click on a new news article, you just have a done button at the top and you've never left the stocks app. We have voice memos. There's a new design to voice memos. This also now uses location services, so it can determine where you are and label a voice message to your location. The iBook store has had or just Box now as it's called, has just had slight improvements design on the UI. So there's a couple of standard apps which come with your iPhone with some new designs. Thank you for watching this quick tutorial on iOS 12 and the new features. If you've got any comments, if you think I've left any major improvements out, let me know in the comments below and I will make a new video for you guys. I'm always looking for your input. If you've got any video ideas that you want me to do, if you want me to expand on certain things that I have mentioned in this video, just let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.